Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for the middle of the 3-game week. That should say round 13, shouldn't it? Not 14. Hey, maybe that was all set up for the preview. But anyway, I'm going to attempt to change that very quickly on the fly. But the round 13 review and reaction show, as I say, in the midst of a 3-game week, we're doing okay over here. Another round of games at the weekend in the Championship, and we will be on to them tomorrow, so don't worry about that. But we need to deal with all of these midweek games that have just taken place. 5 on Tuesday, 7 on Wednesday. Some headlines that we'll get into them. But frankly, we're going to get into every game, every team, every goal. And by God, we need your comments on this. So as we go through, have your say in the comments, share your knowledge, drive the debate. We'll try and read as many as we can. Make sure you comment on the game that we're talking about, and then you'll have the most chance of your comment being read out. Before we get there, please do hit like on the stream. Helps attract more people and hopefully a better conversation. You never know. And also, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. We're crawling our way up to 20,000. We'll get there sometime. Can we get there by the new year? By God. There's the running order down there. As ever, we will go from the highest ranking teams at the top of the league all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. Right, we're going to get into the games in just a second. Let's just say a quick thank you to Russ, our fan sponsor here for the review show. Was a foe, now a friend, currently on loan to the Premier League for a year and suffering with a chest infection. The poor soul. So send our love to Russ, who's our fan sponsor for the review show. Once again, let's say some hellos here to Wayne, Anir, Noah, Finn, Catherine, QPR Forever, Nappa's mum, Jimmy, Mr. Testosterone, Harvey, World Betting Tips, Jack, Robert, Mr. E, Daniel, Connor, and Simon. There we go. Welcome, everybody. I'm sure more people will join. Come on, then. Eddie from Texas and Nick from probably down the road from me, Dave, Phil, Cesar. There we go. We got it done now. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And your results in the Championship this round were Bristol City 1, Forest 2, Derby 2, Luton 2, QPR 1, Blackburn 0, Sheffield United 1, Millwall 2, Stoke 0, Bournemouth 1. That was our first watch-along on Tuesday. And Fulham 2, Cardiff 0, Huddersfield 0, Birmingham 0, Hull 1, Peterborough 2, Borough 2, Barnsley 0, Preston 2, Coventry 1, Swansea 2, West Brom 1 was our second watch along. And the game that finished last in the weekend, Reading 2, Blackpool 3. We are going to start with our leaders. And we said it was a stiff test for Bournemouth. And we said if Bournemouth, who we think have had reasonably okay fixtures so far, if Bournemouth stay undefeated and go and win at Stoke, we're going to be impressed with that. And it was Stoke 0, Bournemouth 1. They did exactly that. And people are starting with every game in this undefeated streak to take Bournemouth more and more seriously. They are 5 points clear at the top and already at the 30-point mark. So Bournemouth are flying in short, and they're really setting the foundations for a good season. We always say on the channel, you put the points on early. You know, the challenge is then, do I have to be very good? Do I have to be good? Do I have to be okay? Can I be average? And if you do what Bournemouth are doing, you're buying yourself games. And if you do then go on a run of 3 or 4 defeats or 3 or 4 without a win, you can ride it out. Anyway, Stoke 0, Bournemouth 1. There's your Stoke team there. Davies, Wilmot, Suter, Chester, Tim and Smith, Thompson, Allen, Klukas, Powell, and Brown with Tyrese Campbell returning to the bench and the pitch. Ultimately for Bournemouth, Travers, Stacey Cahill, Kelly Zamira, Billing, Kilkenny, Lerma, Christie, Solanke, Anthony. As I said, get your comments in on this game, by the way, and we'll read them out. This was the watch along, so I know all about this game. Here is the only goal coming in the second half. Big error from Davies in goal. You can see he's shaped over to his right. That's because he's parried, spilled, whatever word you want to use. That ball back to Dominic Solanke, who scored his 8th goal in our 13 games so far. Stuck that in the back of the net for the only goal. Now, there wasn't that much in this game, but Bournemouth weren't made to feel that uncomfortable by Stoke. I'm not saying it was a terrible performance by Stoke, but they were just off it. I've seen them play against Barnsley and they played well and should have won. Seen them play against West Brom on the watch-alongs and they did win. So not the best performance I've seen from Stoke, and Bournemouth did enough. Again, there are the numbers. 2 big chances apiece, 9 corners to 7. 52-48 on the possession, 4 shots to 2 on target for Bournemouth, but they weren't made that uncomfortable. There was a little rally after the goal, wasn't there, where Stoke hit the post, didn't they? I can't remember. Was it Klukas hit the post? And then Campbell did have a chance after he came on through the crowd. But I think the Stoke fans will be disappointed they didn't leave enough on Bournemouth. There's the table, and you've got to tip the cap to Scott Parker. Look, top of the league, undefeated, 31 points, only 8 goals conceded. Obviously, Derby were level with them on the goals conceded. That changed in midweek. So it's just a very, very, very good start now. We always look at 2 points per game. They're miles above 2 points per game, 5 points above it, in fact, and 5 points above Fulham in second and 6 points above West Brom in third. Stoke, back-to-back defeats, drop out of the playoff places, but look how tight it is there. 21, 21, 21, and then a 23 just above. So Stoke need to go again, don't they? And get us back believing in them like a lot of us were. There's a good point, Harvey. Powell out for 8 weeks with a crap fibula. He came back on as well, presumably with that crack in, a huge blow. Yes. No sooner did they get Campbell back, then out goes Nick Powell. Very big win for Bournemouth, says Ewan. Agreed. Mr. E, understandably, Campbell looked as rusty as a very rusty thing, but a boost for Stoke. Yeah, absolutely. Cherries rode their luck a little bit, probably just about deserved it. Could have easily been 1-1. Connor, Cherries business in the window. Strength for them, an already strong team. Hard to see them not playing Premier League football next year. Finn, we are playing well. Never mind blowing teams out of the park. Not like you're going to on a cold windy night at Stoke. There you go. However, we have mainly played the teams lower in the league. But this was the point we were making before the game, Finn. We said, oh, it's 1 out of the top 7 they'd played and 7 out of the bottom 10. But they've now gone away to a playoff team. I know the table tells us now Stoke aren't a playoff team because they're up to 7th. But it's an impressive performance that Dom Solanke to win the Golden Boot. I mean, he's 5 off Mitro, and Mitro's setting a roaring pace, isn't he? So, yeah, we'll see. That might be difficult. Bournemouth look the best team in the league, says Jack. Whether it will last is an open question, but they definitely have the squad depth to keep it up. Looking very good indeed. Right, let's move on, and we will get your comments now on Fulham 2, Cardiff 0. A couple of stories here, and you can tell me which is the biggest story. Fulham are back to 2 points per game, have won 3 of 4 now, are still scoring at a stonking rate. Mitrovic has 13 from 13, and Tom Cairney has returned. So that's the Fulham side. But Cardiff on the other side now, and I keep getting this wrong, so I'm just going to quickly look it up, is, oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defeats in a row and 8 defeats in 9 in the Championship. So as far as we know, my Twitter hasn't gone off with a tweet from Cardiff and a picture of the corner flag and a new manager announced, but he's in big, big trouble, McCarthy. Anyway, you talk to me about any of that stuff in the comments, get them in. Now, there is your team. For Fulham, Rodak, continues over Gazzaniga, Adoy, Adrebio, Ream, Robinson, Harrison Reed, Seri, Cabano, Bobby Reed, Wilson, and Mitrovic. For Cardiff, gone back to a back four here. Smithies, NG, Flint, McGuinness, Bagan, Pack Volks, Giles, Bowen, Colwill, and Kiefer Moore up top. And we haven't seen him yet this season on the pitch. And much to my surprise, as I tweeted earlier, who is this attacking midfielder for Fulham, making a lovely shape with his left foot and drilling that one into the top corner? It's the return of Tom Kearney, another player who's dominated the Championship. Yes, I know we'll get, but what was he doing in the Premier League, Ben? We don't cover the Premier League here. We cover the Championship. And Tom Kearney at Championship level has been extremely good the last 4 seasons he's been down at this level. Promoted twice, obviously. Playoff final, winning, scoring, goal scorer, if I've worded that right. Good finish this one. Bounces back up, and look at that gap. I mean, even if he mishits, he's going to find that. But he absolutely larrups that one in the top corner. Great return for Fulham, because Fulham really needed some more attacking quality in that squad, didn't they? I assume they'll have Fabio Carvalho back soon as well. An embarrassment of riches up the top there for Fulham. And really, they only need this guy, don't they? A quick snatch high up the pitch there. Bobby Reed knocks that across the box. And I mean, you look where the keeper is and you think he's positioned well, but Mitrovic hits everything so early with such power. And he does put it to, I think it's Smithies, isn't it? To his left and into the corner. So 13 for 13 from Mitrovic, who is projecting to score 46 goals, even by my fairly basic mathematic brain. And just a quick nod, Wilson and Reed both move on to Bobby Reed, that is, both move on to 4 assists as well for the season. And by God, look at those numbers. 24 shots, 6 on target to 2 big chances to 1. I know Cardiff did hit the post at 0-0, didn't they? Kiefer Moore sweeping that one across. But Fulham get the win, and Fulham return to 2 points per game. And ladies and gentlemen, have a look at that top 3. Shall we bring back the parachute cartel? Because the top 3 are all getting parachute payments, aren't they? Look, I don't think that's happened yet this season. Sheffield United letting the side down, looking 17th. But Fulham move into second place, much due to the next 2 teams we're going to talk about below them, both losing, but Fulham with an excellent total, moving on to 26 points. And I know people have said Fulham's form is spotty, and yes, it is. They have had some defeats, but the rate they're scoring, are they just going to blow enough teams away to get to your sort of 85 points, unless we get a third team go with them and drive that total higher? Maybe they can lose 8-10 games if they're going to go ahead and, I don't know, win high 20s, then, you know, they may be fine still losing some games. Cardiff, look at that. And we talk about Peterborough later. Peterborough go above Cardiff, 8 defeats in 9. Am I getting the numbers right? Or was it not? I can't even remember. So many defeats in a row. I think it's 8 defeats in 9 and 7 defeats on the bounce. And yeah, I suspect we'll have some how is Mr. McCarthy still in a job tweets here. Let's see what we are saying in the chat on this one. Cheza expected Cardiff lost their form. McCarthy out. Jack baffling that McCarthy's still in a job. Feels more and more like a guaranteed 3 points for they're playing each week. Yeah, can't argue with that. Does the return of Kearney mean that Carvalho is expendable in the January window? You'd hope not. You'd hope they'd get that deal done ASAP. You would think, Eddie, from a positive point of view, that the return of Kearney says to someone like Fabio Carvalho, this team's going to get promoted and I'm going to get to play in the Premier League with them. So they've got to pay him the money. But yeah, we'll see. Connor, pains me to say, Mick has to go. Cardiff getting battered wherever they go. QPR forever. Biggest talking point. How much will Mick be in the job? Wilder in the crowd. Oh, there we go. We still have Mick at Oakwell. McCarthy versus Warnock on Saturday. Last chance saloon for Mick. Wouldn't it be ironic for his mate Warney to stick the knife in there like Mick did at Nottingham Forest and Chris Hughton? So there we go. 46 goals. If Mitro gets that, surely a championship. Yeah, we'll see. Can he stay fit for the season? And will Fulham keep creating the amount of chances? And will he stay in this form? He looks like scoring every game, frankly. Seri is another. Yeah, I can't believe they kept him, Colm. But there we go. If they can afford the wages this year and they get back up, money well spent, isn't it? Go and bank that 100 million quid TV money next season. Get your comments in on game number 3 now, which we covered again last night on the watch along, which was Swansea 2, West Brom 1. Good week for Swansea, back-to-back home wins since we came back from the international break. Not only that, they've beaten their fiercest rivals in Cardiff, and obviously West Brom were in the top 2 going into this game. So really good stuff by Swansea. And West Brom just find a way. They just find a way. They didn't find a way this one. And be interested to see people's comments on why perhaps that may be. Here's your Swans team. Hamer in goal. Bennett, Norton, Cabango. Bidwell, Laird. Downs, Grimes. Corey Smith. And a very good little partnership here of Jamie Patterson and Joel Pirro, who are all over the goals and the assists this week. For the Baggies, England's Sam Johnston. Ajayi Bartley-Clark. Townsend Furlong, Livermore, Mollenby, No Mowat, Grant, who's in the goals as well, Robinson and Phillips. Get comments in on this one, guys. Swansea 2, West Brom 1. And I mentioned Grant in the goals. He moved on and got his 6th goal of the season after, I think it was 53 seconds. This was... I think Swansea fans would probably admit this after they won the game. It was an absolutely terrible start by Swansea in this game. They just looked far, far too casual, knowing that West Brom were going to press. The ball breaks. Cabango gets completely caught following. Bidwell's basically got Robinson. Cabango goes over as well, leaves a huge gap then. And Robinson then just slides the ball into the middle. It's then squared over. I might have got that the wrong way around. Phillips, whichever way round. And Carl and Grant. It goes inside to Phillips, who then plays it onto Robinson. I can't remember the exact goal, but and Grant sweeps it home after only 53 seconds. But the comeback is coming, and it's coming in the second half. West Brom didn't do a lot in terms of extending that lead, and here comes the equaliser. Really good work by Joel Pirro. Not least because it's absolutely teeming down with rain there. He gets played in and he runs it well, and there's a lot of pressure on him. It's pouring down with rain. He's got Matt Clark breathing down his neck. He's got Sam Johnston coming out and he holds him off. Clark's obviously worried about taking him down and getting red carded if it's not deemed a deliberate attempt to play the ball. But Pirro does well. 7 for the season for Pirro. And remember, he didn't really, it was sort of 3, 4, 5 games before he was settled and into the team. So he's really firing at a very, very good rate. And here comes the winning goal. Bad mistake by Darnell Furlong, gives it away in the build-up. But, and it doesn't do it justice at all, very good from Jamie Patterson, who runs into the box, changes direction quickly, turns back, knocks it through Kyle Bartley's legs, and it's a better finish than that still makes it look out. A kind of half toe poke into the far corner. He does it all very quickly, and he's in great form as well. Jamie Patterson, by the way, he set up Pirro's goal. So Patterson also goes on to 4 assists, and the goals are going in for him as well. Swansea get the win. Look at the numbers. 6 shots on target for West Brom, but only 1 big chance in the game. And then Swans on top in possession, corners, the key big chance metric. Hey, they win the game, whatever numbers you're going to bring up. And West Brom have got 2 defeats in 3 games now, having lost to Stoke and having lost to Swansea. You could argue tricky away games. Swansea coming into form, but they are 15th. So, yeah, West Brom, a little slip over the last 3 games, just dropping to 1 point per game and losing 2 of them and dropping to 3rd in the table. And the way Bournemouth are going, you don't want to also be behind Fulham, who we know are capable of just banging those goals in left and right. Swansea, very nice. Very, very nice. 7 points in 3. And do you know what? Let's just bring up Swan's last games because I think it reads quite well. I mean, if you take it, do you know what? We'll take it back one further. Do we need to? So you go back to that whole game, 0-0, then another 0-0. So they stop conceding goals there, 3-3. Then they start scoring, still a single point. Ignore the Brighton game because that's the EFL Cup. And then 3 wins in the last 5 with clean sheets in 3 of them. Victories over their rivals and over West Brom as well. The only defeat away at Fulham, and Mitrovic was pretty spotless in that first half, wasn't he? So I would say Swansea are moving into good form, and they're on 2 points per game there for the last 5, 10 points in 5. Very, very nice. Let's have a look and see what you lot are saying in the comments here. Swansea and West Brom. Jack, we were embarrassing. We've been getting worse for weeks, and results like this come as a direct result of the manager's tactical stubbornness. Indeed, no plan B. We knew that one was coming up, didn't we? Kai, as a Jack, Swansea beat him on the top 3, and Cardiff getting smashed. Oh, never mind about that. Was at the game too. Nice one. Have you dried off yet? What else are we saying? OJ, you know when you're playing excellent football that even if you lost, you would have been over the moon with how you played. Well, there you go. Connor, what a week. Hopefully we've put together a string of results now and climb up the table. Pirro and I can't call him Patterson, our wonder signings can see us finishing comfortably in the top half and even a cheeky playoff push. Well, just keep that form going and, become a viable team, which they seem to be doing. And who knows? Who knows what will happen? Swans were caught cold at the start, but after that, we were outstanding. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree, Ricky. I do agree they were caught cold. I wouldn't say Swansea were outstanding. I thought they played well in the second half and did enough to win the game. They've got a couple of players in form. Difficult game. You just have to get the job done in those conditions and against West Brom, who are a difficult play. But I'm not denigrating the performance in the slightest. I will say Swansea are outstanding when I see one of these performances click where they just move the ball and create a ton of chances. It's probably coming if they do trend in that direction, but they're certainly in good form. Our summer window this year has to be one of the best. Everyone has settled in and they look fit. They're high on life. Our Swansea fans here. What else are we saying here? Second half performance was brilliant last night. Patterson and Pirro on fire. Zach, nice for Swans to show their quality. Just need to figure out how to do it against the lesser teams and not play down to them. Drag down to their level. Do you know, Heidi, I was thinking that before we started, that no one would mention this horrifically, malnourished plant, but fair point. It's almost like my guilty conscience, drew that comment, didn't it? But you are right, I'm afraid. Bungalow, we still haven't clicked, but certain partnerships have, such as sloppy, possibly overconfident. It was so bad, wasn't it, that first minute? Still taking us a little too long to get into the game, but better every game. Russ Martin's philosophy starting to show. I mean, look, the philosophy has shown from the start, since he walked in. Just hasn't been working, hasn't it? We've known what it is. We knew what it was before they kicked the ball, but the results now are appearing to be coming. So, great stuff. Nice to hear from some happy Swansea fans there in the chat. Let's talk about Preston 2, Coventry 1. Get your comments in on this one. Preston 2, Coventry 1. Preston have been I think that's the first win in 8. Check my numbers on that. Someone fact check me in the comments on that one. Coventry, we can still factually say, are way, way better at home than they are away from home. That's another winless game there away. And yeah, Coventry have only got 5 points in 7 games away from home. So kind of relegation form, essentially less than a point per game away from home. Whereas at home, they're outright perfect Champions League form with 6 wins out of 6. So Coventry have just got to lessen that disparity between away and home form. And Preston, yeah, good win for them with the big game against Blackpool coming up at the weekend. There are your teams. Iverson in goal, Story, Bauer, Hughes, Earl, Vandenberg, Whiteman, Brown, Johnson, Rees and Sinclair. For Cov, Moore, Hyam, McFadzean, Rose, Martson, Darbo, Kelly, Harmer, O'Hare, Gyökeres and Tyler Walker. Speaking of O'Hare and Tyler Walker, it gets a bit lost in translation here. Check out Callum O'Hare's assist. It's absolutely brilliant. He plays a 1-2, drives forward, plays it to Tyler Walker. And the reason it gets lost is Walker kind of goes for the shot the first time, sort of stops, checks back, and then has another go. And you forget the good passing that's gone before. He wraps that in the top corner, actually. Good finish by Walker, who's in the goals again. So it's not all 9-goal Gyökeres now, a couple in the last 2 games for Walker. But what about this? I challenge the comments. Name me a better headed goal this season than that. Absolute incredible header from Patrick Bauer, who climbs, he's over 12 yards out. He's behind the penalty spot, isn't he? Keeper's well positioned. He's leading back and he powers that in off the far post. Look, just see if anyone can name me a better headed goal than that this season. Absolutely brilliant goal by Bauer. And here is the winner. Rees coming in off the left-hand side, drills that one in right-footed. We always say about Preston year after year, they never replaced Hugh Gill and they need a striker. Well, he's scoring some goals now, Rees. I know he was there last year as well, but yeah. And there's the comeback victory. And what I was hearing in the stream last night was that Preston were actually good value in the second half, really kind of went for the throats and got it. No big chances in the game. But look, 16 shots to 8, 4 on target to 3, 50-50 on the possession, 9 corners to 3, some sense of territory there in Preston's favour, possibly. So Coventry stay in 4th due to that staggeringly good home form, 18 points at home, only 5 points away. So we're still saying the same things about Coventry. Can they, we said this about Watford last season, just be average away from home and you're going to finish in the top 6 with that good a home form if, and it's a big if, you can keep up the brilliant home record. Derby next at home for Coventry, then Swansea, then Bristol City, then Birmingham. Maybe they can keep up that decent home record. It's a lot to ask for them to be perfect, though. But big picture, look, Coventry, superb. It shows how the standards have gone up to be in 4th. Preston, I think I'm right. And do you know what? Let's bring it up that it is 1 win in 8. But look, it's also only 1 defeat in there as well. Ignore the League Cup game. Where have we got there? We've got 7 up there. Okay, there's a ton of draws, but yeah, we said the same thing about Millwall and Gary Rowett many times, haven't we? If you draw a load of games, stick a win on the end and everything looks good. It's only if you stick a defeat on the end it starts to suffer. But Preston, 15 points from 13, so they're above the point per game kind of survival standard we normally look at. But yeah, they'll be very happy with the fight back performance, won't they? Ewan, could Coventry go the whole season in the Championship and not win an away game and not lose a home game? That'd be interesting. What else are we saying? Coventry need to sort out their away form. Nice. Jake Cooper versus Blackpool. I can't remember that one off the top of my head. Chris, next game away for Cov is at Hull. Yeah, good point. Point to prove. There, Coventry disappeared in completely in the second half when Preston showed real determination. So we heard. Yeah. First win in 8 for Preston. Shocked. Only thing I can say about Preston winning is Ben over on HD. I'm not talking to Ben HD. Well, he's ahead of me in the predictor game, which he is, but he'll be a happy chappy. And yeah, good. Well, we talk about North End and Blackpool in the preview tomorrow. Heidi, North End fans, so nice to have that winning feeling again. It's been a while, hasn't it? I think, is that all the comments on that? We'll read Matt's one down here as well. Robbins has always been strong at home and struggle away. Great manager. All those things appear to be the case this season as well, Matt, don't they? Right, let's move on to QPR 1, Blackburn 0. QPR keep a clean sheet. I don't believe it. I'm not having it. What is this witchcraft? You tell me in the chat. QPR 1, Blackburn 0. Blackburn, just a little bit of a slip from Mowbray. 1 point in the last 4 games. Rangers, 3 wins in 4. Back up into the top 6. And my theory with Rangers, we'll test it in a minute, is that they are a playoff team, and they're the most obvious playoff team in the world because they tend to punish teams in the middle and lower down and lose to the very top teams, don't they? With the odd exception. But they've won again here. Dieng in goal, Dickey, Dunn, Barbe, McCallum, Adoma at wing-back. I've got rave reviews, actually. Ball, Dizelle starts in Johansson's place. Let me know how Andre got on. Willock, Chair, Dykes, who are all playing well, aren't they? All 3 at once. Always helpful when your entire front 3 is playing well. Kaminski in goal for Blackburn, Van Heck, Ayala, Lenihan, Pickering, Nyambe, Clarkson, Travis, Aiden, Brereton, Diaz, and Butterworth starting up top with him. No Gallagher, no Dolan as well. They had been a bit light up top. Blackburn, and here is the only goal. And I mean, it's so obvious to us Championship fans. Look at the gap to Kaminski's left. Is Ilias Chair going to pick that out? Of course he is. He's kind of slalomed in right to left, turns then back and bends it with his right foot. And yeah, Kaminski just a little bit over to his right-hand side of his goal, leaves the gap. And Chair has the quality as ever to find the back of the net. And Chair now 5 goals this season. It's weird to call it a breakout season when he's been in the team and around the team for a few years. But there was always a sense, Eze was a little bit ahead of him or a lot ahead of him. And then Bright Samuel was the guy. And now it feels like, right, he's the guy and he's delivering as well. So, yeah, we might get a, in context, breakout season here. The numbers tell us this was fairly comfortable. Look at that. Only 1 shot on target for Rovers. 2 big chances to 0 and 65% of the possession. You tell me what your read on this one is, if indeed you watched it. And QPR, as we said, move up into the top 6 again. 4 defeats for Rangers. I know they had that Bristol City one. Maybe that's an outlier. But look, they've lost to Fulham, they've lost to West Brom, and they've lost to Bournemouth. So other than what was a bit of a smash and grab against, or at home rather, to Bristol City, the only other teams they've lost to have been the top 3, all away from home as well. So they're definitely playing like a 5th place team, i.e. maybe there's 3 teams better than you, but generally in the rest of the games, the form is very, very decent. And all I will say, look, goals for 24, goals against 20. They're good fun, aren't they? Whether you'd come unstuck ultimately in the playoffs with that defensive record is maybe a job for us to talk about in March or April sort of time. But I like Rangers. They're good fun. Blackburn have dropped from, I think they did finish a game week in the top 6, didn't they? Did they? I don't quite remember. But yeah, they've only scored 1 point in the last 4 games and dropped into the bottom half as well. And look around Blackburn as well. Look at the W's. Swansea, Forest, Blackpool, Millwall, Middlesbrough. Every single one of the 5 of the 6 positions there around them won on the same day there as they lost. Hence the drop for Rovers. Right, what are we saying here in the chat? Alex, we had a dominant performance, not giving much of Rovers much of a look in. And what a strike by Chair. Just standard stuff. Day in the life for Chair, isn't it? Rovers rotated and came for the 0-0. They didn't get it, Chris, if that was the case, did they? Pope, QPR fan, happy 3 out of 4 losses. Yeah, there we go. I got to that stat in a roundabout kind of way, didn't I? QPR often require score the 3 and randomly concede it. Yeah, that is the only worry, isn't it? It's a Christmas miracle clean sheet. Great performance by the ever young Adoma. Must start next game. Chair in fine form. Rovers' usual slump is happening now. Good start masking real problems with a thin squad. This is Ben, by the way. Woeful tactics need fresh ideas. Oh, he's gone all in on Mowbray there. What else are we saying here? Simon, I'd be fuming if I was a Blackburn fan. We've been shipping goals for fun. We've already mentioned that. 24 scored, 20 conceded. And Mowbray set them up to do nothing but defend. Calm. Injuries withstanding, QPR should finish in the top 6. Does feel like the door's open for QPR in that top 6, doesn't it? QPR need to beat a couple of top teams. However, you can see the parachute pay. Well, yeah, we've said forever and a day until they review that wealth distribution. This is going to happen, but hopefully they can see now with the evidence since 14-15 of, the dominance of the parachute teams that, the likes of QPR essentially have to have 3 or 4 good seasons of recruitment in a row, sell their star players to get the one shot at it. And maybe that's this season for QPR. We will see. Right, let's move on. Where are we going next, guys? Oh, this might be a quick one because it's Huddersfield 0, Birmingham 0. And we had a few people watching this. Was this Tuesday night or Wednesday night? I don't remember. Anyway, I think it was the first night, wasn't it? Let's say it was Tuesday. I'm sure someone will correct me in seconds in the chat if I'm wrong. We had a few people watching this, Huddersfield and Birmingham fans actually, telling us this was not a very exciting game. So we won't say too much. I can already see now, if I scroll down quickly, only 3 shots on target in the entire game. So we'll move quickly and we'll go big picture. Looking at the attack momentum graph, it looks like Huddersfield might have edged it, but I'll defer to your comments in the chat if you did watch the whole game. Let's bang through the teams there. Nichols, Pearson, Lees, Colwill across the back for Huddersfield, Toffolo, Thomas, O'Brien, Hogg, Sinani, Ward, Holmes. Settled personnel, settled system, and settled in the top 6 as well. Sarkic in goal for Blues. Sanderson, Roberts, Friend, Pedersen, Graham playing at right wing back. Gardner, McGree, Sonic, and Chong supporting Jutkiewicz. I had a look. I only pulled that out from the highlights, which is in the second half. That's Fraser Campbell spinning from about 4 yards out and managing to hit. I think he hits the top of the post. I don't think he hits quite the crossbar there, but maybe that was the one. I think there was a couple of chances, but like we said when we had a brief look at the numbers, only 3 shots on target, 4 corners in the game, 1 big chance apiece. Other than the possession numbers, it's tight, isn't it? And I think move on. I suppose Huddersfield would be the more disappointed given their position in the league table and it's a home game. But look at the last 4 for Huddersfield. They've got 8 points. So if you roll it out over those games, they're doing fine. Birmingham needed to stop losing. But I think the problem for Birmingham now, and you can see it's starting to appear in the numbers, only Hull, Barnsley and Derby, who are all in the bottom 3. Remember, Derby wouldn't be in the bottom 3 were it not for the points deduction. I'm just trying to lay out where they lie in the hierarchy here. But only those teams have scored fewer goals than Birmingham, who are just not finding the target at all in their games. Let's go to some comments. Apologies, we may be having some signal problems now. Please don't complain in the live feed. It's very, very tedious. I'll go to that screen and we'll try and get some comments up whilst that is happening. Mr. Football, frustrating game first half we were average. Second half was better. And Campbell, unlucky to hit the post twice, even more annoying, because all the teams around us dropped points. Yeah, look, add on another 2, and they would have been up there with Coventry. Yeah, they would have been ahead of them on goal difference. David, friend, surely. People tell me off when I do that. And then when I don't do it, people implore me to do it. You're a bad influence, David. What else can we say here? Bowyer was stupid playing Uke as a lone forward. And I guess he was trying to get Chong up to support him. But yeah, Chong is not a forward. Don't Birmingham always do this? Start well and gradually revert back to normal. Appears to be so, doesn't it? Hopefully the signal has sorted itself out, guys. Apologies if I went a bit Minecraft there for a second. Right. Away we go then. Reading 2, Blackpool 3. And I was all packed up after about half an hour of this one. Home win, Reading 2-0 up. I think it would have been like, I don't know, 6 wins out of 7 or thereabout for Reading. But no, because back came Blackpool and back in Blackpool. I won't do that again, sorry. And they win again. And they've got some spirit, this Blackpool team. We had them nearly get something at Millwall with 10 men for most of the game. We had them come back from 2 down to draw at Bournemouth, who are our runaway league leaders at the moment. And now they do this at, frankly, in-form Reading. What do you think about that? Let me know in the chat on Blackpool there. Disappointing one for Reading, though. Southwood in goal. Yidam, Moore, Dan, Rahman, Laurent and Drinkwater, Deli Bashiru, Swift, Ejaria, Pushkas. And for the pool, Grimshaw, Gabriel, Ekpiteta, Keogh, Husband, Mitchell, Wintle, Dougal, Anderson, Yates, and Carey. And here come the goals. Guess who put the free kick over for this one? John Swift, who has 8 goals and now 6 assists this season. That is 14 goal contributions in 13 games, and his contract's up at the end of the season. John Swift, everybody. Scott Dan guides that header in. Not quite on Patrick Bauer level or Jake Cooper level, as more on Jake Cooper in a minute. But Reading lead. And then a bit of a tap-in here for Tom, Deli Bashiru, Josh Laurent with the assist there. It does actually go all the way to half-time and into the 69th minute before Blackpool even get it back to 2-1. Here is Owen Dale on the edge of the box. Yeah, clever shot that. It's he knows there's a crowd. He's just got to keep it down. Volleys it into the ground and the bounce takes it through and past Southwood. Good goal, that. And then here comes Jerry Yates, who we didn't think was making this step up to the Championship very well. Cross comes in from the left side from Owen Dale, who scored the first goal, of course. And Yates just guides that. We're talking about Andraz Spora trying to do the same thing in a bit for Bury. Guides that into the far corner. And a penalty to win the game late on. Who is that? It's Yidam. Is it Bowler? I can't tell with the blurry picture. Someone will tell me in the chat. Anyway, penalty given. And here comes Yates again. You can see that going into the roof of the net. The still is a bit deceptive. He hits it low and Southwood parries it. And it ends up going up into the roof of the net. Anyway, that's not the story. The story is the sensational comeback from Blackpool. And look at the attack momentum in that as well. That is the most Reading attack momentum I've ever seen, considering they were 2-0 up. They laugh at XG Reading, but Blackpool just powered on through and went for it the whole game by the look at it. And yeah, look at the numbers. I mean, there are 3-2 comebacks and 3-2 comebacks, but that looks more like a 4-1 win or something, those numbers, doesn't it? 56 on the possession, 18 shots to 4, 10 shots on target to 3 in Blackpool's favour. What a performance. 7 corners to 0 and 4 big chances created. It looks like, even though Reading fans will rightly say because they were 2-0 up, they threw the points away, looks like a hell of a deserved, given all of those metrics stacking up, performance there from Blackpool. Be interested to know people who watched the whole game, which I didn't, what they think. So Reading are still in very nice nick. And let me get my correct number. It was 5 wins in 6 leading up to that. So frankly, it's still 5 wins in 7 games. 15 points in the last 7 is still very good. And away they go to Blackburn. Bournemouth after that, has to be said. With the caveat that we have to mention every time, are they trying to mitigate a points deduction? If they got -6, they would drop all the way down to 18th spot. If they got -9, they would be one off the relegation spots, wouldn't they? Anyway, Blackpool, let's be far, far more positive. Well played, Blackpool, who, after losing at informed Forest, come back with a victory. And my God, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins and a draw, 16 points in the last 8 for Blackpool. Blackpool have scored 2 points per game over a sample size of 8 games. That is very, very impressive from Blackpool. No wonder they've climbed the table, and no wonder with performances like that. Woof. Let's have a look in here and see what you lot are saying on that one. James, Blackpool look like they're going to comfortably stay up this season. Yeah, they do, don't they? Agreed. Blackpool, impressive and deserved winners. Puskas missed a 1-on-1 at 2-0 after that. Complete collapse by Reading. Yeah, it looks like the heads went and Blackpool were just going to go and win that game, didn't it? Could not get out of their own half. Nothing on the bench to change things. Blackpool don't have some fighting spirit. Yep, I'll agree to that. Blackpool's strongest promoted side I've seen in years. Sheffield United, first year, maybe? I don't know. We'll see where Blackpool finish as well. Watch Lee, good friends with Lee, actually. Subs were introduced at the right time. Blackpool did have a... Right, okay. I won't get into refereeing decisions or penalties or things if I haven't seen them, okay? Matt, Blackpool are very much like Barnsley were last season, my team of the season. So far, woof. Jason, I won't talk about refereeing decisions if I haven't seen them. Blackpool's energy levels were great in the second half and they deserved the win. Their attack momentum said they had it for the whole game, Jason. Looked like a fantastic performance. They'll stay up easily and threaten the playoffs. How about the Tangerine Wizards? How about them? Tables, others, and chairs. And yes, North Enders coming up at the weekend. Great performance by Blackpool. When we get to our team of the round, I'm sure there'll be a good few shouts for Blackpool. Blackpool have had it a couple of times before as well, team of the round, haven't they? If memory serves. Right, sorry guys, I'm going long. You don't mind, do you? Let's go to Pride Park, where Derby still haven't lost. I'm just going to double check that very, very quickly. Yes, where Derby still haven't lost, although this was their 5th draw in 7 home games. It was... Have I skipped anyone? Sorry. No, I have. No, we're on Luton. My bad. What was I saying? 5 draws in 7 games for Derby at home, but undefeated. Luton off the back of a good win at Millwall at the weekend. Honours even in this one, 2-2. Get your comments in. Here's your Derby team. Also in goal, Byrne, Jagielka, Davis, Buchanan, Shinnie, Bird, Morrison, Knight, Lawrence, Yoshviak. For Luton, Sluga, Lockyer, Bradley, Naismith, Bellbury, Mpanzu, Ray, Clark, Cornick, Adebayo. Here come the goals. Get your comments on this one while I am talking. And it's a bit of a mistake on this one. I think Bradley gets robbed, doesn't he? Knight nicks it off him, sends it on to Lawrence. And Lawrence, whatever you say about him, has a hammer of a right foot. And given the amount of time, he's always going to score from there, isn't he? Just drills it low into the corner. Here is the equaliser. Proper messy goal, this one. Long throw-in from the right-hand side. I think they get the flick on the near post. And Onyedinma, does he... I don't know which part of his body it hits, but he bundles it in over the line for the equaliser. And then Derby take the lead again. This one goes right through Sluga. He should save this from that angle, doesn't he? Jason Knight driving that one in after the slide through by Tom Lawrence, who gets a goal and an assist double in this one. And oh dear, mistakes galore actually in this game. It's a good climb by Adebayo, but also if you come in anywhere near that far from your goal line to claim across, with the extra advantage you have of your arms, you've got to get something on it. And he completely misses it. And Adebayo's probably like, oh, I'll just head this into the net then. Good climb, like I said, but poor goalkeeping. Let's have a look at the numbers. Ends 2-2. By the way, have a look on there. Double substitution by Nathan Jones. What an animal. After 31 minutes. Unbelievable scenes. 50-50 on possession. 10 shots to 9. 5 corners apiece. 2 big chances apiece. I'm sticking with that narrative. Couple of mistakes apiece by either side. And it sounds perfectly down the middle for me. Take a point. Move on. I'm sure the comments will say different, but we'll get to them in a minute. Luton, excellent. 8 points in the last 4 games. Very good. And when you look at a 3-game week and your first 2 games are away, and you go into that last game knowing that if you win it, you've already got 4 points on the board and you can hit 7. Things are looking all right. Luton at the weekend have got Hull at home. And I'm sure every Luton fan would have taken 7 points from the 3-game week before we kicked off. And Derby, look, they draw a lot of games. I still happen to think they're doing really, really well under the circumstances. Transfer embargoes, couldn't bring anyone in, brought in a couple of aging players, free transfers, etc. And to be quite frank, add the 12 points on as we always do. And they are, let me look at the goal difference. Yeah, they're above Bristol City. So I don't know how much more Rooney can do. There's still a 7-point gap. But if this goes the whole season, they may get close if they don't get another points deduction and if they avoid injuries and hopefully get taken over. Lots of ifs, buts and maybes as ever with Derby. What else are we saying? Oh dear, Nick's fallen into the... Nick, I'm so sorry I can't predict the future, buddy. I said there would be goals in this game. We were sticking our neck out there. A football match with goals? Well, I never. Take out the mistakes. There wouldn't have been many. 8 points in the last 4. Time to push on. Yeah, time to move on from my 0-0 prediction as well. We've got to have one. But yeah, decent run, isn't it? 8 points in 4 for sure. Anybody else here? Derby have taken the lead in the draws race. Have they gone past Millwall now? Unbelievable scenes. There we go. Right. We got to move on. Where are we going next? Sorry, I'm really on the go slow today. We've still got about 4 games to go. Middlesbrough 2, Barnsley 0. Get your comments in on this one. Middlesbrough 2, Barnsley 0. And the misery for Barnsley continues. Nobody has won fewer games this season than Barnsley. They have 1 win in their opening 13. And everybody I've spoken to says they're playing really badly as well. Not good news for Marcus Schopp. And Middlesbrough, I can't get a read on, but what's new there? 3 wins in 4, up to 10th. What are you going to say about that? Well, tell me in the comments. Lumley in goal for Borough. McNair, Bamba, Peltier, Jones, Tavernier, House and Crooks, Pereiro, Sporar, Watmore. For Barnsley, Collins, Hondermark, Hellick, Moon, Williams, Britton, Gomez, Styles, Adore, Isaka, and Corley, Woodrow. Here come the goals. A couple of assists for Paddy McNair in this one. And I'm sorry, I've seen many, many headers in my life. Andraz Sporar is blatantly trying to put this in the other corner. You can see his head is already past the ball. He's trying to head it over there. He gets there too early. It ends up going in the other corner. I think he gets a little bit lucky, but it's a good cross by McNair, and he's in the right place, and the ball goes in I think the opposite corner than he meant to head it in, but there we go. And late on, bit of a messy one. Up in the air, I think McNair's recycled. You can see him in the back of the picture. Matt Crooks, can he just get the standing jump? I think, is that Ikpeazu tucked in behind him there? Wearing 9. Yes, he can. And he nods it down. Too close range for Collins to save it. And it's another defeat for Barnsley. Oh, God, look at the numbers as well. 21 shots for Borough. 8 shots to 3 on target. 2 big chances apiece. They did hit the post again at 0-0. I think Clark Adur hit the post, but just not happening for Barnsley. Anyway, Borough up in 10th spot. 5 wins, 5 defeats, 3 draws. Very sort of symmetrical numbers. They've got 18 points from 13. They're only 3 off the playoffs. I can't get a read on them, though, so I need to see some more evidence to figure out what's going on and what they're going to do. Get comments in. And Barnsley, yeah, just horrifically bad. You can see 5 straight defeats on the recent form chart there. If you then go back 2 draws, another defeat, another 2 draws, another defeat, and then you get the win against Coventry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games without a win. And remember that win, Coventry had a penalty in the 93rd minute and didn't score it as well. So something went for them in that game. And we also did the game against Stoke, where I don't want to put the boot in on poor old Barnsley, who was so good last season, but you can almost say a few of the points they've got. Look, they could have got 3 points against QPR. They seem to be coasting that game. So look, maybe I'm making a moot point, but a couple of the games where they've scored points, they might not have scored points as well as what I think I'm trying to say. And they are rooted in the relegation zone. And when we talk about the, quote, real league table, on pitch, if you don't count Derby's horrific off-pitch activities, Barnsley would be the worst team in the league. Woof. Let's have a look. Sorry, Ben. I had to. Where are you in the league table, Nick? Name yourself, and probably be above me, but there we go. Everyone's above me. Daniel, only reason he's still here is because the board don't want to pay him off. 11 games without a win. No goal in the second half since opening day. Lowest scorers in the league. You name it, Daniel. He's gone through the load of horrible, horrible stats. Watmore's chance was harder to score than miss. I won't claim we're going up yet, but hopefully it'll give us some confidence. I like that, Jake. What a disappointing season for Barnsley. Yeah, terrible, isn't it? God. Exactly the same story, Matt. Play okay for 20, then off for nothing and roll over. Started with Gomez and Honda Mark in the midfield, who have 10 senior games between them. Not good. Not good, not good. I really feel sorry for Barnsley, especially with what they achieved. It was always going to be a hard... Do you know, I think I had Barnsley dropping down to 7th. I'm not 22nd or wherever they are, 23rd at the moment. Horrible, horrible. Borough have had 2 easy home games. They will lose to Cardiff and finish 17th. There you go, Chris. You old grump. You might be right, though. James, I was at the game. Happy we got the win. Hopefully we'll make it 3 from 3 on Saturday. Piero, Bamber and Crooks all contenders for man of the match. Don't know what there you go. I'm in the same boat. I don't know what he's done. But yeah, a couple of wins. Yeah, I agree with Chris. A couple of nice opponents lined up. But look, you get on a run, especially Warnock as well. That Barnsley side shouldn't be down there, says Will. Shop needs moving on quickly. Nice one, guys. Right, here we go. Sheffield United 1, Millwall 2. Anyone predict that one? I think I had a home win on this one. And Rowett does it again. Just when you think. Defeat at the weekend at home. Trouble. No, he goes and gets a win at Sheffield United, who we had, they've turned the corner. I think they've lost 3 out of the last 4 now, Sheffield United. That sounds like they've turned the corner and then reversed back around the old corner that they'd already turned, hadn't they? But there you go. I'm getting a bit tedious from my analogies, aren't I? Move on. Here are your teams. Sheffield United, Olsen in goal, Bogle, Egan, Davies, Stevens, Fleck, Hurahan, Gibbs White, McGoldrick, Osborne, and Billy Sharp up top. Millwall, Bialkowski, Ballard, Hutchison, Cooper, Malone, Leonard, Evans, Saville, Wallace, Bradshaw, Ojo. And you tell me in the chat, this is a cross, isn't it? Have a look at his body shape there. Have a look at everything there. That's a cross, isn't it? But that's going in the net. Jed Wallace, I think he's trying to really fire that across and give, I guess it's Bradshaw in the middle there, some chance of getting on the end of it. Where does it go? It flies over Olsen and into the top corner. So I think a bit lucky, the first goal. Here is a penalty shout. Who's that? Scott Malone and John Fleck. It's just a bit clumsy from Malone, isn't it? He gets a hold of him first. Fleck doesn't actually go down straight away. And then Malone kind of falls over and into the back of him. And then Fleck goes down. It's all a bit of a mess. Penalty gets given. And Billy Sharp, look at this. He manages to get the ball stuck underneath the net there. Sticks it into the corner. And it's 1-1. But here's a key moment in the game. Because Sheffield United go down to 10 men. And that still doesn't look good for Morgan Gibbs-White, does it? With he's turning inside. It's Malone again, isn't it? Who has both feet planted and his arms up, which doesn't really mean anything. But you can see Gibbs-White is waiting for contact that doesn't come and kind of falls over and gets a second yellow for diving, basically, and it's red carded. Get your thoughts in on that one in the chat. And what is going on here? So this is Jake Cooper. By the way, when this goal came up, I see the goal, and then I see the goal scorer, and then we get the footage over on the monitor over here. And I'm like, okay, so Jake Cooper, late winner, header at the back post, bobbling around, and he just heads it in or whatever. Absolutely not. Look at that. Drills it in left-footed. How far is he out there? Have they got the hatch in? He's 25 yards out. You can see the 24-yard hatch there on the pitch. They look like they do 6-yarders there. Incredible. What a goal by Jake Cooper. Bear that one in mind for goal of the round. And Millwall win the game in the 92nd minute. Didn't they win really late at Barnsley as well? And against Blackpool. And Millwall, the late win specialists this season. I thought they were the draw specialists. Anyway, maybe they're not. And look, they draw a lot of games. The Millwall fans get a bit cross when they go and draw several and then lose a couple. But he's getting some wins now, Rowett. Look at that. 9 points in 4, 10 points in 5. That gets my vote as being in good form. And they're 3 points off not only the 3 points off the playoffs, they're 3 points off 5th position. So can they keep the run going? I think they've got Stoke at the weekend. There's a good challenge for both of those sides in terms of where they're going to finish ultimately. Sheffield United, I thought they'd turn the corner. I expected them to be around 10th to 14th now. They're 17th and they've lost 3 in 4. Okay, you can talk about the Gibbs-White red card. But the attack momentum graph tells you they just didn't start the game well, then came into it and, couldn't do it with 10 men. See what you lot are saying in the chat. What have we got here? And here, Olsen been poor for Blades so far. Yeah, he got caught out by that cross, didn't he? We've had a good record there for 40 years, says Chris. You've got to tell me about these bogey teams, Chris. Smarten me up. What else are we saying? Daniel, poor run for Blades. Unfortunately for them, it's a free win on Sunday. Yes, and that is the tactical preview on Football 365. I've written about that today. So check Football 365 up tomorrow. You can hear my written thoughts about that. Defo across. I thought it's across, didn't I? Oh, there you go, Ethan. That's a shot. Look, Jed could tell me to my face that's a shot, and I'd say, really? Was it? Millwall fans don't seem too enamored with Rowett's style of play. He's doing a fine job looking at the table. And there is the tension, isn't it? Style over substance. Plenty of substance in Millwall being 11th in the table. I agree. Rob, as a Lion living up north, I could get used to seeing these last-minute away wins. I bet. Ethan says that's a shot because there's no one in the box for him to cross it to. Sorry, Ethan. Let me bring the picture back up again. Where is it? This is a hill I am prepared to die on. As soon as he releases that ball, Bradshaw is clearly in the box and he's trying to bend it, or the cross would be to bend it into an area. So you can disagree with me, but I'm not buying that reasoning for 1 second. Did anyone question Jed on it? Can we get his words? He'll probably just laugh, won't he, and say it was a shot. There we go. Anyway, it went in the net. Who cares, Ethan? And of course, all opinions are allowed here. MFC, 3 attacking subs from Rowett won us the game. Hopefully not a one-off because he thinks his job's on the line. There we go. He'll have to tweak it Saturday. Saville suspended and Afobe can't play versus Stoke. Interesting. Jed on Twitter said he got lucky. There we go. Someone quote, well, that might be exactly what he said, but there we go. Good win for Millwall, however the ball flew in the net. Right, let's go on fire, Nottingham Forest, who were losing 90 minutes into this game and managed to win again and have a goal disallowed into the bargain as well. Bristol City 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Bristol City's utterly awful home record continues, and there's just something in their brains when they get near to the end of a game at home now. And look, I'm sure we've all had periods watching our clubs where there's just something psychological going wrong, and that is clearly the case for poor old Bristol City at the moment at home, who I think, I suppose if Annie is in the chat, he'll tell us, they seem to have conceded a few late goals as well in failing to win any home games this season. They've got the second worst home record in the division in terms of only having 4 points accumulated. They have played one game more as well than the two teams they're tied up with. Strangely, one of them is Nottingham Forest. That's obviously a hangover from the dreadful start under Chris Hughton. Anyway, that's all ancient history because Forest are absolutely flying now, aren't they? And have won 5 games in 6. They've scored 16 points in the last 6 games. Outstanding start for Steve Cooper. Here are your teams. Bentley in goal for Bristol City. Callis, Atkinson, Baker. James, Tanner, De Silva, Scott, Vyman, Martin and Wells. For Forest, Samba in goal. Worrell, Figueiredo, McKenna, Lowe, Spence, Yates, Garner. And a very good-looking front three now of Zinkernagel, Johnson and Graben. New manager bounce. All of those players were playing together for Chris Hughton, but yeah, maybe not being set up in the right way. Here are the goals. This is Alex Scott. You can see Naki Wells with his arms open, already celebrating. He hit the shot. Samba parried it. Alex Scott follows up into the net. So it's 1-0 then. And we're going into the 91st minute here. And Nathan Baker, you silly boy. Because I think Jed Spence gets quite a heavy touch on this. And certainly Atkinson or maybe even Bentley can cut it out. But, it doesn't always work like that. I think he's lulled in. God, you cannot slide in there in the wet in stoppage time. Trust your keeper. He's a good goalkeeper. It's poor from Baker, isn't he? Penalty. And Lyle Taylor, who I say with a touch of the Ivan Toney's, has been doing it for the same length of time as Tony, strolls up, walks, sends Bentley the wrong way, sticks it in the corner. And then I always remember being at a game between Ipswich and Reading where Reading psychologically lost it. And I remember Ipswich scored with 92 minutes gone or something. And Reading kicked off and gave the ball away. And I distinctly remember saying, they're done. If Ipswich attack, they will score. And there was just a sense of it here. I've watched this back from kickoff and Bristol City, they knock it back. He doesn't want it, knocks it back to the centre half. Oh, God, I don't want it. Get rid of it. Keeper kicks it down the ground, and then you're like, get up the pitch. They just hem them in, get them away. Don't let them have an attack. The ball then turns over, and as soon as you see Mighton on the run, I think everyone in the stadium knows the Forest are going to score somehow. And across it goes from Mighton. The bounce goes. You can see just by where everyone is in the box that this is not an organised situation in the box, complete chaos. And it bounces up off Bentley and Lyle Taylor sticks it in. And what do they say? 90% of football's in the brain. Yeah, there you go. Psychologically, Bristol City cannot get over the line at home and just go straight down to the big look, 4 big chances to 2 as well. Both sides hit the post in this one, but Forest late on get the win. Would you Adam and Eve it? And yeah, Forest 16 points in the last 6 games. That's 17 points as their entire total. So look, let's reserve judgment on Forest. I almost say reserve judgment on Forest until they lose a couple of games, really, because this still feels like just a big run. And we saw Cardiff do this, didn't we? They had a huge big run under Mick early on and then dropped off. And now, so long term, if it's not fair to judge someone at the worst of times, it's not fair at the best of times either. And maybe we need to reserve judgment on Forest. But all you can say at the moment is they're in outstanding form. And look, only Bournemouth can match them at the moment. And yeah, if they put another 12 or 13 points on in the next 5 games, then yeah, they may well be well up there. Can they do it? Because that would then be essentially 10 or 12 games of title-winning form. And unless you're a bona fide title winner, that's hard to do. Bristol City dropped down to 16th. They're all over the place, Bristol City, haven't they? I'm sure they were in one of our live league tables recently. They're about 8th or something. I'm sure they must have been, leading in this game. But look, it's tight, isn't it? If you look from Bristol City all the way up to Reading, 16th to 8th, only 3 points difference. Anyway, I'll shut up and we'll read the comments. What are we saying here on the chat? Liam, hand up there. He was at the game by the sounds of it. Utter capitulation side. I mean, it's clear psychological problem in the squad at the moment. That was the 3rd time this season conceded a stoppage time goal at home. No, I totally agree, Liam. Totally agree. It's something. They just need to win a game at home, and then they've done it and got it off their back. But yeah, we are diabolical at home. 17 at home without a win. We normally play well at home, but the mentality just isn't. And when you see the weird disparity, Bristol City are actually very good away from home. Only Forest and Bournemouth have more points. God, look at Bournemouth's away from. God, more points away from home. Bristol City's next home game is Barnsley. Well, there you go. In retrospect, they should have kept Lee Johnson. Yeah. Houghton said the players. Ice cream. Houghton said we didn't have the players for attacking football. Well, you're scoring an awful lot of goals at the moment, Ice cream, aren't you? So, Kai, genuinely never seen a team crumble. I saw that anyone who was at that Reading Ipswich game will know. And it's quite awkward to watch because you can see all the players' heads have gone. It's like they're ghosts. Do you know what I mean? And it's so easy to run through. So there you go. Forest on promotion form. They're on better than promotion form at the moment, Aquatic, aren't they? They're on Reading 2006 form, I think we call it. But there we go. Can't believe Forest still won't have been at the new Wembley after they get promoted automatically. I like that. I can tell you another team who, there we go, get my finger in there, who hasn't been to the new Wembley. Yeah, maybe one day. Hey, maybe both Ipswich and Forest will be there this season. What else? All they need now is for Barnsley to sack shop for the next home game. I like that. Philip, I honestly screamed through happiness when Taylor scored. I think I scared everyone up my area. Up the Reds, Cooper really knows what he's doing at the moment. Oh, yes, he does. Right. I think, have we got one more to do? Sorry, I've gone long. We're 1 hour, 15 minutes in. Thank you all for your patience. I hope you're enjoying the show. I am. So we will roll on. We do have one to go. And by God, if you think Bristol City have got a bad home record, you should see Peterborough's away record. But not anymore, because they have won an away game. Unbelievable scenes. Peterborough had, before this game, played 6 away from home, lost 6, scored 3 and conceded 18. And even by their rather outspoken owner's admission on Twitter, they were terrible away from home. I'm sure we'll be pleased with this one, though. Hull 1, Peterborough 2, in not only a battle of 2 of last season's promoted League One sides, but also a really key 6-pointer if you look at the area they are in the table. And I suspect when it comes to the return game here, Peterborough will be very, very happy to have gone to Hull and taken the 3 points. Here are your teams. It was Ingram in goal for Hull, Coyle, Bernard, Greaves, Elder, Huddleston, Doherty, Wilkes, Honeyman, Lewis, Potter. Have they got Wilkes and Lewis Potter on the wrong sides, or are they doing the inverted wingers thing there at Hull? I don't know. McGuinness up top. More from him in a moment. For the Posh, Cornell in goal, Knight, Edwards, Beavers, Butler, Thompson, Taylor, Norburn, Smodic, Dembele, and George Grant. And I think we already gave you a sneak preview of this one. Well, maybe Jake Cooper stand aside. What about that from Jack Taylor? The ball's been knocked back to him from, I think the corner goes short and George Grant rolls it back to him. And he loops a banana shot all the way over Ingram into the far corner. And yeah, if Jake Cooper was 24 yards out, I'm betting 27 yards out is Jack Taylor there. What a goal! Wow! Here is the equaliser, though. And you saw Posh take the lead on 43 and then Hull equalised just before half-time. And you think, okay, they're going to lose away from home again, aren't they? Callum Elder crosses in. Not the best defending, considering McGuinness is the big aerial threat there. Nods it in on the back post. And then into the second half, that is Malik Wilkes, now obviously on the right-hand side. Who was I to question it? And Dan Butler is in a bad position and gets drawn into the tackle, and the penalty is given. But, oh no, can anybody spot the ball in my picture? That's a bit of a naughty one, isn't it? But yeah, have a look in about the 5th row of seats there. It's just a horrible penalty by McGuinness. High, wide, and gorgeously ugly over the crossbar. And then here come Peterborough for the winner. Just 6 minutes later, George Grant with another assist slips through Dembele, who dinks it over Ingram. And look at those Posh fans behind the goal. Travelled up to Hull. Wet, windy night, and they're going to get the first, not only the first away win, the first away point of the season, the Posh. Well played, Peterborough, off the mark. However, not the most viable numbers, I have to say. They conceded 5 big chances, including the penalty, 8 corners to 4, 18 shots to 9. Look, 5 shots to 4 on target in the Posh's favour. And I have to say at 2-1, the keeper goes up, Ingram, for a corner. And the players, they always do this, professional football players. They forget when the keeper's gone up that as soon as they knock the ball forward, the offside flag's going up because there's very rarely 2 defensive players behind whichever attacking player is sprinting forward. But little bugbear of mine. It's such a rare situation. But anyway, they won't care about the numbers. The only number they'll care about is the 3 points, Peterborough, that they got. And they are 5th bottom now, 2 clear of Hull. And you can see, obviously, switching places with them, jumping from 8 points to 11 and breaking their away duck. I suppose the 26 goals conceded, they are still conceding at a rate of 2 per game. But look, if you're Hull or you're Peterborough and you're looking at the table and you've just lost at home to a rival, you're certainly way, way happier being a Posh fan than a Hull fan there. Let's have a look here. Lenny's got his hand up. Could talk for hours, but ultimately we had chances to win the game twice. 5 big chances, it said. Posh took their chance when it came. 3 wins in 33 champ games since selling Bowen. Going nowhere with McCann. Woof. Jack Taylor. Yeah, fire. Miss Penn was the turning point. There we go. Right. Let's wrap up now. I think we've done the league table, but I'll just give you one more recap and then we're going to go to team of the round and goal of the round. Thank you all for sticking with me. So Bournemouth, 5 points clear at the top. Fulham in the 2 points per game club. Nobody else is now. 13 games in. West Brom, Cov, QPR and Huddersfield make up the playoffs. Stoke are still tied on points in 7th. We then get Reading, Luton, Borough, Millwall, Blackpool in the top half. Let me just repeat some of those names there. Millwall, Blackpool, Luton. All recently ex-League One teams in the top half there. And obviously look at Coventry even higher as well. Brilliant stuff from the promoted boys over the last sort of 4 or 5 years. In the bottom half, Blackburn, Forest on the rise, Swansea on the rise, Bristol City, Sheffield United, Preston. Bottom 6, Birmingham, Posh, Cardiff. Bottom 3, Hull, Barnsley, Derby. Again, we always mention with Derby, add on the 12, they would be in 16th position with a 1 goal difference advantage over Bristol City. Right, shall we do team of the round? I'll make my normal plea. Please only reference the team you support if you genuinely believe they are the team of the round. Leave your bias at the door, else it gets very, very boring and there's not much point doing the polls. But I want to do the polls and I want a good result. So let me nominate some people. Team of the round. Could it be Forest, who keep winning? Could it be QPR, who beat Blackburn? Could it be Millwall, who won at Sheffield Wednesday? Could it be Bournemouth, who are going great guns? Fulham, who beat Cardiff? Could it be Peterborough, who finally won away from home? Could it be Middlesbrough, who beat Barnsley? What about Preston, who beat Cov? Swansea, great performance to beat West Brom. Or Blackpool, who came from 2 down. I think for me, it's between Blackpool, Swansea and Peterborough, I have to say. But you are entitled to say whoever you like, but I'm just pointing out, you can say the team you support. I'm just pointing out there is a massive bias towards the team you support that is very, very evident whenever we do stuff like this. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. Right, Blackpool, 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 Swansea, Millwall, Swansea, Blackpool, Blackpool, Swansea, Blackpool, Blackpool, Luton, Blackpool, 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 Forest, Swansea, Forest, Forest, Preston, Luton, Posh. So I think Forest come in second place, and we've got to hand it to Blackpool this this midweek. They are going to be our team of the round. Take about Blackpool, and we will go on to goal of the round. Get your suggestions in, and once again, please bear in mind the 23 teams you don't support as well as the one you do. So let me know who your goal of the round is. Off the top of my head, Chair for QPR, very good. Cooper for Millwall, Kenny for Fulham, Taylor for Peterborough, Bauer, the header for Preston, and any others in the Reading game or the Blackpool game? I'm trying to think. Possibly not. So I think my favourites are probably... Oh, actually, the Patterson goal was pretty good for Swansea, wasn't it? I think my favourites are probably Bauer, Taylor, Cooper and Kearney, I reckon. Let me know your thoughts. We don't get many headers, do we? And Bauer's header was very good. Kearney's goal was great. Taylor's goal was ridiculous, wasn't it? And Cooper's goal, just because of who it was and the fact he's a lumping great centre-half. Let me know who your goal of the round is. Sarcastic answers will not be read out. Let's have a look here. Taylor, Cooper, Cooper. I'll read that sarcastic answer out. Broome, Plymouth. I'm sure we've all seen that goal. Taylor, Cooper. Taylor, Cooper, Taylor. Shall we give it joint then to Jack Taylor and Jake Cooper? We'll do a Gary Neville and we'll have a joint. Everybody gets a prize. We'll have a joint goal of the round there, although there's a few more coming for Jack Taylor there. Oh, shall we give it to Jack Taylor then, being Peterborough weren't team of the round? We'll give it to Jack Taylor there. Jake Cooper was robbed. It's criminal. He's robbed. Unbelievable scenes. Right, thank you, everybody, for watching. That has been a very long review show. Thank you for grinning and bearing all the way through. Please hit like before you go, guys. Hit subscribe as well. Now, listen very carefully. I'll be back for the preview show at 1 p.m. tomorrow. I'm working tomorrow night, so I won't be on here at 7. So apologies if you're at work yourself. You can get off on your lunch break. Come and join us for the predictions at 1 p.m. There may be a super stream on Saturday, or I may go to a game. Who knows? I need to run that past Shaylee and see what she says. But do keep in touch. And then, obviously, the review show will be at 7 p.m. on Sunday night. And then, by God, after a 3-game week, I'm taking the day off on Monday. You know what will happen? I'll take the day off on Monday and someone will sack their manager at 9 a.m. in the morning. Well, now I'm looking at you, Cardiff and Barnsley. Don't do it to me. Right, if you want to shout out, let me know. Let's have a look in here. Bazzy, legend, have a great night. MOT. Still got so many Leeds friends here. Brilliant stuff. There's another one, Leeds 2021. Brilliant. MR, legend. Anir, Mr. E. Chris, no one likes us. There you go. That's why we stripped Jake Cooper of the goal of the round here. Keep it up forever. Morgan, we're Argyle. We're top of the league. But the mighty Ipswich are coming, Morgan. Well, not so mighty. There we go. Too many Phils. Napper's mum. Aquatic. Nick. Ben, dinner time stream. There you go. Bring it on. Cheza. Purple Bungalow. Cheers, Chris. Go to the Ipswich game and see. There's a possibility that may happen. I need to get permission, basically. MJ, legend, and Jimmy, legend. Thank you all for watching. See you tomorrow at 1 or whatever we do on Saturday or 7 p.m. on Sunday night before my day off gets interrupted by a manager being fired. Thank you for watching, everybody. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.